I'm Elsa, co-founder of LONGTIME and CEO of the enterprise Ethikis, which is focused on on longevity product. Let's start with a number, 99. What is it? 99. On average, each household owns 99 appliances. Yes, it's huge, 99. How many are robust? How many are repairable? How many are designed to last? What I know is that all of them are resources, and most of them are already premature waste. Why? Mainly because us, consumers, we lack information to choose on the store a product designed to last. And on the other hand, manufacturers are looking for solutions, but they don't know how to start to improve their practices. That's why we created LONGTIME. LONGTIME is the first methodology to evaluate a product longevity with an innovative end-to-end approach. LONGTIME is a certification based on 41 criteria with an independent control body attribution, and it's also in compliance with the ambitious European Green Claims directives. So you can see the criteria are focused on design, because of course the reliability of the product is part of the conception process. On repairability, of course, because if you can't open a product, you have to change it. And finally, with technical support and after-sales services, because support for consumers is very helpful to care for the product. 41 criteria are great, but not enough, because appliances can be very different in conception and use. Of course, smartphone is not the same as a washing machine. So we develop a product-specific requirement process. We are studying the weaknesses and the durability aspect for each product category to be able to have the higher criteria for each category and be evaluating the most virtuous products. And this is that allow LONGTIME to be used by all manufacturers, whatever the product category, whatever the maturity level also, and whatever the geographical production. LONGTIME, we validate the technology, the model, the business model. We already have 80 products certified. It's we were working with more than 20 manufacturers, and we're happy to see that all manufacturers use what they learned during the certification process to disseminate on the company the methodology and to improve their practices for the other products. Sorry. Now LONGTIME is in the scaling point. Okay, we have a big challenge. The first one is the visibility for consumer. Of course, we need to be recognized. To become recognized as a mean of proof of greenwashing, but also eco-contribution, for example, to export solution in Europe, and ongoing research and development, such as sector textile, because we can apply it on these sectors.
Thank
you. Sorry.
Thank you, S.r.l. Thank you so much. And let's go for the second one, which is the venture ROSI. ROSI is specialized in recycling and let's do it again. And the revalorization of raw materials from the photovoltaic industry. Let's welcome Sin Fan. Welcome, Sin.
Thank you. Oh, I think this is not our slides. This is not our slides.
Can we change the slides deck, please?
Can you hear me?
We need the ROSI slides.
Can we change to the ROSI slide, please?
Is it okay? Thank you to the tech team who is working really hard with us today. Can we give a round of applause to the technical team, please? How are you, Sinsin?
Perfectly fine. It's a bit weird that I cannot hear myself, but I think you can hear well.
Yeah, I can
Okay.
hear you really well. Have you met the jury?
Hello.
Have you met the audience?
Hello, the audience.
Have you met me?
Yes. Hello.
Hello.
I'm sorry I forgot your name, please.
My name is Rebecca.
Rebecca.
Yeah, Rebecca.
Rebecca.
Yeah, I'm
Thank
from
you
France.
for the introduction.
Sure. In the audience, who is from France? Just raise your hand. Okay, who's from outside of Europe? Okay, wow, we have an international crowd here. Wonderful. Who has already heard of Sinsin project before? Oh, wow.
That's
Who-
the SIT friends.
Oh, interesting.
EIB friends.
And who wants to hear more about Sinsin project?
Thank you.
Okay. Who wants to see Sinsin slides?
Me.
I think they are coming.
Okay.
Wonderful.
I have bunch of passions, no worries.
So I'm curious to know how has been your experience so far being kind of incubated by the institute? How has it been?
EIB Institute
I
or
mean,
the
yeah,
ROSI. Our
the
company.
institute. Yeah, the institute.
Resortecs first, and then we're going to try to find the slides.
Okay. We change the project.
Yeah, so first we go to Resortecs, and then we
Okay, wonderful. Okay, the suspense is full. You're going to come back later because we're waiting for your slides.
Oops.
Thank you so much. So let's switch to Resortecs, right? Yeah, Resortecs. So Resortecs, they're working on heat dissolvable stitching threads and thermal disassembly tech for industrial scale textile recycling. And we are welcoming Rawa Amar. Rawa, your time to shine. Thank you so much for being here.
If only sustainable fashion was, can you hear me? Yeah. If only sustainable fashion was allowed to be word today, we will all be naked. Because there's no such thing as sustainable fashion if the fashion is not recycled. My name is Rawa Ammar, the CSO at Resortecs. Resortecs make garment recycling possible at an industrial scale and at a high quality. And this is critical because less than 1% of textile is effectively recycled. This is meaning $500 billion worth of material that is wasted every year, and therefore it's not shocking that the fashion industry is responsible of 10% of annual CO2 emissions. Garments are difficult to recycle because they are difficult to disassemble. Manual disassembly is lengthy, costly, and not scalable, while mechanical recycling harms the textile, causing them to go for downcycling. You might have heard about the European initiatives to tackle this issue through extended producer responsibility, leftover destruction ban, and eco-design directive for products. To be compliant with the EU Circular Textile Directive by 2024, garments must be recycled and designed for recycling today. So, what if we can reduce the cost of unsold inventory, help brands become compliant, and simultaneously make all garments recyclable? Meet Resortecs, a globally patented solution that has been tested by 50 of the biggest fashion brands in the world and now is sold in over 60 countries. It all starts with a smart stitch. You can design your garment for disassembly by simply changing the stitching thread. These stitching threads melt at high temperature, which makes the seams automatically disappear. There's no change for the design or manufacturing, while washing, drying, and ironing remains possible. Then comes disassembly. These patented thermal systems are 5 times faster than manual disassembly. These industrial ovens can take up to 10 tons of textile apart every day without destruction of the fabric thanks to the low oxygen chamber. To keep it sustainable, they are designed to consume low energy. This small change bears a huge impact. First, for the brands. as they can have a continuous supply of recycled material. They can reduce their cost of unsold inventory and better understand and estimate their waste management and become environmentally compliant. While for recyclers, they can tap into high volume of premium material, meaning scalability. They can get 5 times more material, feedstock, at a lower cost in Europe, and they can get clean, sorted, and high quality material with full traceability provided by an LCA-driven process. It doesn't stop there. We are targeting 5 SDGs, and our LCA shows that combining Resortecs with effective recycling, we can reduce CO2 emissions by 50%, water by 98%, and waste by 80%. That represents 7 kilograms of CO2 equivalents for every denim disassembled and recycled. What does that mean for Europe? If all European fashion was disassembled thermally and recycled, we can have 60 million tons of CO2 avoided and 2.3 billion euros saved every single year. Let's zoom out. On a global level, the fashion industry can reach 28% of its Paris Agreement target to reduce CO2 by 2050 by simply changing the stitching thread. Our mission is to become fashion's new eco-design standard, reducing the textiles industry CO2 emissions by 2040 by 1 billion ton. Resortecs, a technology so hot, it will melt your mind.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you very much. You can put it here. Thank you so much. You're still waiting for ROSI venture, but she's not coming yet. For now, we're going to see MYCOTEX by NEFFA. MYCOTEX by NEFFA is the automated manufacturing methods allowing custom-made textile products from biomaterials. Are you ready to welcome Aniela Oitink? Let's give a round of applause.
Hello everyone, it's great to be here with so many people that want to transform different industries. I have a dream that one day we will live in a world where everyone can feel good about the garments they wear because they are made from natural materials close to where they live and without exploiting anyone. My name is Aniela Oitink and I'm the CEO of MYCOTEX. Already during Art Academy, I was fascinated by personalization and how to do that on mass production scale. I first needed to have industry experience, so I started working for fashion brands, designing garments, setting up departments, and ending up at Tommy Hilfiger, where I was responsible for a yearly revenue of 10 million euros. I founded my company when I saw fashion was repeating itself. And that's what I'm showing to you today. The conventional fashion supply chain is wasteful and complex. There are many issues going on. There's a lot of waste throughout the production process. There's a lot of labor and pollution. The list is so long, I could talk about it all day. And luckily, the industry is aware of this and focusing on steps to improve. Material innovation, better dyeing processes, just to name a few. These are quick fixes that are needed right now, but it's not enough for the future. What we need is a systemic change to really transform the industry. MYCOTEX by NEFFA is the first sustainable automated manufacturing method to allow for custom-fit products from biomaterials. We start by designing in 3D. Out of that design, a 3D model is then generated that is recyclable and affordable. The second step is that we grow the biomass through liquid fermentation, and we use only food-grade and natural ingredients for that. And the last step of our process is the robotic application. Then there's a drying process and the finishing, and the garment or any textile product is ready to be worn. We can grow and make our product from scratch within 7 days. The benefits that we are having is that we can bring back production to Europe. It's making automation possible and local and on-demand manufacturing. We grow our mycelium from natural ingredients, and also every ingredient that we're adding are adding up to that so that we can create a biodegradable product. Now you might think that this is complicated, but this is in fact not the case because we're working with this existing equipment, minimizing investment. And lastly, for brands, we offer them unlimited design opportunities. Finally, they'll be able to change the way that they're designing and to offer branded textures. 32 liters of water, 5 kilograms of CO2, fabric and money we're saving per bag only already in this stage, and we're still scaling. Now imagine this on a factory level where we produce 150,000 bags a year. We can save the water of 150 small swimming pools. Within 25 years, we want to work with 200 manufacturers to be really transforming the industry. Now that's what I call creating an impact. We are already able to create high fashionable products. Our full supply chain is at pilot scale. 5 years from now, we'll be working with the first 8 manufacturers and scaling up for the USA and Asia. Today, we're looking for investors and brands that are truly transforming the industry. So if you want to understand how we could collaborate, just get in touch with me. I have a booth in the fashion area where we have a small setup with a small robot and a turning table to show you how we're producing. Thank you.
You can put it here. That's what we call making change. Wonderful. Last but not least, I have a surprise. ROSI is coming back. So to remind you that ROSI is specialized in recycling and the revalorization of raw materials from the photovoltaic industry. Please give a warm welcome for Cincy!
Oh, yeah.
She's back! She is! You are!
Say more, uncle.
Slides.
Hello again, everyone. Just let me take off this. So, good afternoon. I'm Xinxin from ROSI. Today, I'm happy to present you the recycling technology developed by ROSI. So, it's a recycling technology for the solar panels, aiming for a truly circular economy. As you know, PV is the most important technology that is driving us toward energy transition. So, in 2022, we already have cumulative capacity of 1,000 gigawatt. This massive amount of PV is installed worldwide. But what happened next? After their lifespan of 20 years, it becomes an environmental disaster. And this might surprise you, but currently we don't have a proper treatment for them. What happens nowadays is they are being shredded, and the residuals goes to landfill or just road construction. This is not what we call a proper treatment. And a massive amount of waste is incoming in 10 years' time, and even in 2035, we will reach like 2 million tons of solar waste. So this is why ROSI has developed a technology that can deeply recover all the materials from the solar panels. We differentiate from the shredding method. We're really aiming for a deep delamination and revitalization of the materials. So before I jump into the waste problem, let's look back into the supply chain itself. Why it is so important to recover the materials from the waste? Because, for example, we take a look in the silicon that is produced for the PV industry. It is such a high energy intensive process, and it consumes a lot of resource to just produce this material. At the end of life, if they are not recycled, it is not just only an environmental disaster, but also a pity that we let go of these already high purity materials. So what happened in ROSI's process? Here you can see we are trying to change the linear life cycle to a circular one. We can recover aluminum, junction box, glass, copper, but also silver and silicon. So these are the material that can never be recovered by the shredding method. The goal is to reintegrate them back to PV industry, go to semiconductor, and also battery. For the value recovery rate, we can recover from the 35% currently by the shredding method to more than 95% by ROSI's technology. This is not only thanks to the quantity, but also thanks to the quality that we can have from our process. To give you an idea of the market size, just to look in the European market, you can see that in 2025, we will already have 1 million tons of waste and increase to 10 times of that in like 20 years' time. So ROSI started in France We are just launching our first industrial line in France, in Grenoble, and it's running this month, and inauguration will be next month. So we are very excited to let people see that this technology is feasible at industrial scale. So this is my last slide. I would like to present the value propositions. We provide you a solution that is aiming for the truly circular economy, and we provide high purity materials with low carbon footprint. And on the right-hand side, you can see the benefit for the environment and society. This is a low-impact process. We save 1 kilogram of CO2 per 1 kilogram panels being recycled. We save the natural resources because you no longer need to extract them from the mines. You just get the resource from the waste. And importantly, we strengthen the autonomy and the resilience of the whole European industry. I would like to end my presentation with this line: waste is just misplaced resource, and ROSI will render PV truly circular. Thank you.
Thank you so much. What a good catchphrase. I love it. You can stay on stage, and I will invite the 3 other pitchers to come join us for the Q&A session. Dear jury members, we are waiting for your questions. Whenever you're ready.
Okay, so I'll start. Question for Elsa. Very interesting presentation. Thank you. What is the time it takes to get certification? No, how long does it take for a product to get certified?
Thank you.
And the cost?
And how much cost? Okay. The time depends on the reactivity of the manufacturer. If they are ready, already virtuous, it can take like 4 months. We prepare Ethikis team. We are accompanying the manufacturer to understand the criteria and to prepare them to the audit.
You can
then they pass the audit, and it's in 4 months. It can be more longer, until 1 year for the big manufacturer, because it includes all internal teams. You know, well, we are working with the French teams, but for the international brand, manufacturer need to combine all data from Europe desk. And how much it costs? It depends also on the turnover of the certified product. So we made fees, annual fees, to using the label as every certification, and it's 500 euro per year until 20K.
Thank you so much.
I have a question for MYCOTEX, Aniela. You mentioned it's mycelium based, the material. So is it durable, and how does it react to the skin and sweat of people, and how long does it last?
Thank you for that question. As with every new material, we have to meet all the specs. So in terms of tensile strength, tear resistance, abrasion, and so we are working on meeting those. And of course, this will depend on the product. So we are now at a point that we meet the basic specs. But of course, for footwear is one of the most complicated materials. We need a bit more time to meet those standards. And how it will react to the skin. So we position ourselves as a material that sits in between leather and plastics. So we're not a leather replacement. We really are a new material with a new manufacturing method that has properties of its own. That said, they are also kind of in between leather and plastics from wearing point of view.
Thank you very much.
I have a question for you, Rawa. Very interesting solution. It looks great. And what's interesting to me is whether it could work for all types of textiles. So we saw a picture of jeans, so I'm guessing it works with cotton. Would it work with silk, etc.? And as a result of that, what percentage of the market could you target with your solution?
That's very, very good question. Actually, we put it in the jeans because the jeans is like can find in any other store. So just to show that it can be expanded. But actually the collaboration we had on the market is with different materials, with sportswear, with technical material, it can be even expanded. We just released our collaboration with bed mattresses. It can be for any kind of textile and any kind of material. And for that we have developed different types of stitching thread that melts at different temperature. Because if you have your stitching thread in a leather jacket, you will not apply the same heat as if it's in silk. So we need to differentiate while not harming the silk and the leather, but yet making the stitching thread dissolve. For the market share, that really varies. Our target now is for the next 3-4 years is Europe, and really targeting the fast fashion. They are the big problem. We want to help them, and that's what we want to do with versatile types of product, not necessarily part of it.
Okay, so congratulations for the presentation and how well you save these technical problems. So, Rosie, the question is basically about the business model to clearly understand how you are generating revenue.
Yes, so this we have to talk about the WEEE directive that is mandated and regulated the whole European market. So for ROSI, we have two different revenues, one being those who is seeking for a solution for their waste. So they send us, we do the treatment, and they pay us the treatment fee. And then the second part is the resale of the recovered materials coming out from our process. So this is basically how we have two different streams of the revenue.
And you're already selling, right?
We are currently just starting the industrial side, so collecting all the materials and ready to be sold.
Wonderful. I think you can, yeah, of course. Applaudissez-les! Wonderful. You will have time in the networking area to discuss, so please, the jury, you can go there. You too, congratulations on your pitches, on your project. Thank you so much for contributing.